front for spiritual entrepreneurs.
W intro. Definitely. I was actually thinking about that. I was thinking about that in the bathroom when I was getting ready this morning. I was like, yo, I wonder, like I really see us as like leaders in this, because like people, like this isn't like, I don't see like many people who are really pushing spiritual entrepreneurship, and I feel like this is like a market that needs to be addressed.
It is. I agree. And that's why I felt so relieved when I found Jaden's channel, because I was like, whoa, there's someone else like me, like let alone a male version. So it was just mind blowing as well.
What was the first video you saw of mine, Aaron? I forgot. Oh wait, no, I think I remember. Wait, was it
because I forgot.
Wait, I think it was oh shit. Actually, no, I definitely forgot.
Yeah, I forgot too. I actually wanted to ask you.
It wasn't that long ago. Actually, I kind of want to check. Let's see if I can go through the comments and check.
I'm curious. I know you had a CTA in there though. Because I was like, oh, here's.
Let's see. Okay. Right. We're getting there. There's so many comments.
I know.
Haha! Okay. I found God will bring you your people. That means we're close.
That was the
boom!
first.
No. It was want to be more creative, be more spiritual.
Really? Want to be more creative?
Yeah.
Be more spiritual?
It was that one. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That was the first one.
What did I comment?
And then, definitely chosen. God bless you, brother. I agree with all of this.
Yeah.
And then you commented on how I got my first coaching sale with YouTube. And then we talked about like you batch recording. And then you talked about, wait, did I mention? Yeah. I mentioned that I was batch recording, and I mentioned business. And I think, in another video, I think 2 days later, there it was. Was it that same day? It might have been the same day, actually.
Yeah,
you told me about your ebook.
I remember like seeing 2 videos, and like the first night I saw your channel, I watched another one after that. But it was so like in alignment, because like that's where I was in that point, like so spiritual that I was so creative. So I definitely could relate. Yeah, that was a great fact.
Yeah, I'm about to remake that video. Honestly, I think I got like 70 views. People need to hear that.
I archived the video because I'm like, I could make this longer. Like, there's a lot of videos like that where I could like go into it deeper. So I did that.
So you took them off?
No, I took one video off. It was because I was in a car and I was like rushing it, and I feel like if I would have just sat down and like got like I could really.
That's fair.
It. Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like I was probably the next day, Erin had commented about like her own product, right? Because I was talking. It was actually my video about how I got my first coaching sale, and I'd asked her like what she was getting into, and she said she was writing an ebook. And it was funny because I was thinking about writing one myself for like my personal productivity course, and I was like, I hit her up and I was asking her like how it was going, and then she didn't respond, and I was like, oh damn, what the hell? And I checked Instagram, and I was like, oh shit, Erin hit me up. I was like,
yeah, because like when it comes to like stuff that's like close to me, I don't like just spilling the beans like on a public thing. So I was like, I can do this, but it has to be just me and you.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then, that was really it. And then the rest literally is history. Yeah.
Yeah, we started texting for like 2 days, and I think like Erin had like showed interest that she was like interested in working with me, so that was dope. And I like checked out some stuff, and I super resonated with her as well. And not even like we hadn't even talked yet, like not even had a conversation. Only texts, only like watched each other's videos. And like one day I'm literally sitting right here on my bed, and I'm thinking about like starting a free community. I'm like, yo, me and Erin should do one together. That would be sick.
And it's funny.
I have a more. Nah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny because we didn't even have each other's number at the time. Like it was like literally just DMs.
Literally just DMs.
Literally just.
It was just like but we felt the energy. I mean, it's crazy.
And it just came full circle to me that like what I saw in him, he also saw in me, because even like at the time I wasn't producing the content that I am today, but he could still see like the target is the same, like the core is the same. And then like as I started creating my videos, I was using spiritual entrepreneurs, he's doing spiritual entrepreneurs, so it just makes sense.
It's like we're actually let me go back to the text, because that was a good one. That was like a good message I sent you. Let me see. So
oh my gosh. Also guys, Jaden does this thing where he like fake proposes to me, and I'm actually like quite sick of it already. So like it
was funny. 2 times.
It was 2 times?
It was only twice.
Yeah, but like unless 3rd time is the charm, do not do it anymore, because I get like so excited. Oh my god. It's like, okay, so like the first time he like, when he reads his DM to you, you're going to see how it's just like,
oh wait, it's on manual.
Because the first thing that popped up on my screen
okay,
was like,
never mind, it's not showing.
I think I have to propose. So I'm thinking in my head, oh my gosh, he's falling in love, which is what I thought the second time too. And then I was like, okay, this makes sense, whatever. I calmed down.
This is because I'm a master at the attention capturing game. By master, I mean I'm just getting good. You know what I mean? Yeah. But so like a few days after we like were DMing, this is June 29th. I was like, yo, Aaron, I know it's kind of early, but I think I have to propose, ... Yeah. And I said a business opportunity.
Yeah, and it was in a whole separate message. So
yeah, it was a separate message, of course. That's because I needed you to read it.
I did.
I do this. We haven't talked yet, but I think we complement each other really well, and just thought of this idea. I'm all about infusing our love and spirit with our work and businesses, and you're the same. What if we came together and created a free school titled Spiritual Entrepreneurs, where we offer products and upsell like courses, coaches, or a paid community? It would be great for lead nurture and to leverage both of our audience, since I imagine that you have a more female audience. The prospect of this partnership is getting me quite excited, so let me know what you think. Yep.
And it's crazy because I don't even know if that was before or after. Like, I remember I was having like a moment in my life, and like, mind you, like, I don't really know Jaden like that, but I was just like, Jaden, I'm feeling this and that. Like, I was just like sharing like vulnerable parts of myself, like without even like really knowing him. And like, it actually allowed me to build deeper trust with Jaden, because the way he responded, it wasn't just like brushing me off or anything. Like, I felt like he was really there, and I was like, oh yeah, we can really have a friendship. Like, because I didn't know how you were going to respond, but I didn't feel bad, or like there wasn't resistance with me like opening up to you that early. So that was like super dope. And I don't know if that was before or after the proposal. So I feel like that was
it was probably before, I imagine.
Possibly. But yeah,
because
but yeah, I just wanted to reflect on that, because that's something that I thought about. I was like, wow, because it takes a lot for me to be vulnerable, and I was like vulnerable like almost instantly. So
I was gonna ask you, like, what made me seem receptive?
The way you responded, like I could tell you listened to what I was saying, and like also like you were just very understanding of the situation, and then you weren't just like, you didn't brush me off. Like, you like opened up your arms to me as far as like support, and I think that's what like made me feel safe. Like, the support was there, and like you were like, let me know if you want to like even talk more about this and stuff like that, even though like I wasn't ready for that. But it was just the fact that like you had open arms, which was like very
that was definitely before.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, like, because that's why I was like, oh yeah, me and Aaron vibe together. We vibe well. Like, I can tell. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. I was actually asking, like, what made you feel like it was safe to open up to me in the first place? Or did you?
I don't know. That's the thing. I think like that's like the honest truth, but also like if I were to think about it, maybe because we've already like were in sync as far as our previous messaging, but we still didn't tap, like, I think because, just to go back, for me, like, even finding your video, like, we already are relatable. We already like feel familiar with each other because of those videos, and it was clear that you would possibly understand whatever I was going through. But in that moment, I I think I felt like I knew that she would understand me the most out of everyone because, like I said at the time, you were like the first person that I was like, oh wow, there's someone else like me, and I had contact with you. So it's like, let me see like how I could be supportive knowing someone like this. And
I see. All right, I feel that. Yeah, honestly, like we got someone new in DRC yesterday. Her name's Monet.
nice.
And she was asking me yesterday, like, about like where I found like these people that I'm like, talking with now and like networking, and I was like, YouTube. It's like I either know people from Adonis School, or they're my people because I put in the work and I built my own community. And I think like that is like there's so much power in that. Like me and Jake were kind of hitting on this yesterday when we were talking, but like there's so much power in like finding what works for you and like attracting people that are also like-minded to you. It's like if you want to, Hamza likes to say this, if you want to be more social, if you want more friends, if you want more people to be around you, you have to be the initiator. Like be the leader. Be the person who takes the first step because most people won't.
Yeah.
And so if you want it, do it. And like that's something that I had to like tap back into. Like I'm naturally a charismatic guy, but I told myself I was shy for 9 years, so I wasn't. And that like kept me distant and like not as social as I wanted to be. And I didn't feel good about it because I wasn't being myself and I wasn't connecting with people. I wasn't connecting with my people, especially. Like I had my friends, but I still didn't really feel like I had my people. And that's something that I've been like, honestly, ever since I left Adonis School, I was like, yo, where the fuck are my people at? And that's why I was like, I just gotta like attract them. Simple.
Yeah.
And like, I want to move to New York because I know that there are going to be some people there too that are around my same level and, trying to do the things I'm trying to do. But at the end of the day, it's like the only people who are really going to resonate with me are the people that are attracted to me. And so I got to put myself out there so they come.
Yeah, that's so true. Like I was mentioning yesterday how like one of my free calls, like the woman I attracted, she was into spiritual entrepreneurship, which is like the whole reason why I even started in the first place. So I was like, wow, there are other people out here. You just don't find them unless you put yourself out. So it's
100%. The frequencies can't be attracted to each other if the signals aren't going out.
Nope. It's big. Simple.
So, Aaron, why are we so harmonious? Why do we work well together?
We are so harmonious because Jaden is Jaden and Aaron is Aaron. No, I'm joking. But seriously, Jaden is like the divine masculine. I'm the divine feminine. And we're so balanced, like in the best ways because he's masculine, but he has enough feminine for me to feel safe and comfortable speaking with him. And I'm feminine, but I have enough masculine for him to take me serious. So I believe that together is why we work best.
Agreed. Yeah, I think like I was this is actually something I've been learning recently. Like we all have like our own like individual like energy like temperament basically. So like the chakra system, right? The root chakra, the sacral chakra, solar plexus, the heart, the throat, third eye, and the crown. So all of these are represented by like the color spectrum, Roy G. Biv. And so basically every like our soul has like an individual blueprint, right? God splits his white light into, the 7 lights, and we all have like an individual like amount of each light, right? And so like the goal of life is to figure out like where our balance is, because the balance is not going to look the same for everybody. Everyone has their own individual temperament. And so you have to figure out like, where is that for you? Like for me, I'm naturally a more balanced guy, and I really live out through the heart. I'm a very intuitive guy. And for a long time, like I wasn't embracing that, and I was paying for it. And like I was trying to stay in here too much. And the moment you shift from here to here, everything changes.
Yeah. I think that's why it's easier for women to feel safe with you because you embrace that part of yourself. Because I was explaining to Jaden how like I can't see myself working with many men because they're too masculine, and it builds like a brick wall for the feminine to come in. Like we don't feel safe. we're a little bit scared. We don't feel like we can open up and express, and like that expression is what allows you to connect with the person. So
yeah, for sure.
So big, and I feel like what we find as weaknesses are literally our greatest strengths, especially in the coaching business.
Turn your wounds into gifts. Turn your pain into purpose. Turn your lead into gold. Be an alchemist.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm making a video today called Turn Your Pain into Purpose.
Yeah, you have to. Like I literally just did that yesterday. I quantum jumped yesterday.
I know. I was like, me and Jake were on call, and I was telling him, and he was like, "Man, Aaron needs to get to work."
Wait, he just said it like,
and I was like, Nah. I don't remember how it came up, but I was like, bro, I was trying, bro, and she was like, she wasn't receiving it, but it was because what I was saying to you wasn't the correct thing that you needed to hear. And when Jake said it, I was like, oh yeah, she's that. So I'm like, he was like, yo, you should text her that. I'm like, no, you text her that.
Yeah.
So I sent him your number, and what I forgot what exactly he said. He read it to me, but what actually hit for you?
I think it was the fact that like I respect what you have for me, but I think I also have a level of comfort with you where it's just like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay. But like coming from another person, and like I value both of you guys, but another person, it just adds to like, okay, like I get it now. And then I believe with me and Jake, it's interesting, and like I started to feel like, okay, I really have to get on myself, because when Jake was having his moment, I was on him because I was so passionate about his creation. So when he did the same thing back for me, it's just like, yo, I can't be a hypocrite. Like I got to get back on it too. And just like going back to the community, like I thought it was just so beautiful how it's really hard to go backwards in life when you have this type of community. And the community also helps you like quantum jump, because these people really care about you. They understand you. And it was just like divine timing, because even before Jake messaged me, I was literally praying to God, like, give me a download, because usually they come and they weren't coming. And then when Jake sent me like the message, it was like, wow, like alignment. And it just like confirmed that I was in the right space, and to just for sure keep going.
Synchronicity.
Yeah, like I don't remember exactly what Jake said, but it was just like the summary of like, yo, you need to post, like just support, like from the masculine, like it just feels good from a woman's perspective.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, as soon as Jake said like what he said to me, I was like, Aaron needs to hear this. I don't remember it exactly. It was something along the lines of like, you need to like show the people like where you are right now. Like you're in a rough spot. Yes. You need to showcase that.
Yes, that's what he texted me. And I don't remember. I think I was going to originally, like when I got a download to speak about something, I think it was along the same lines of what Jake texted me. To just share where I'm at, and that also will help me open up and connect more. It was just perfect, and it'll allow me to actually get more present, because I'm present with what I'm currently experiencing. I think that was the game changer in the video I just dropped. Like I wasn't trying to talk about something that I wasn't currently going through. Like I didn't try to just ignore it. Like I literally got tapped into it, and that's what allowed me to have that breakthrough.
That's dope. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think also realizing that we're like we try to believe that what we're going through, other people aren't, or like won't understand, or we have to be, too big to where we can't acknowledge how we're currently feeling. Because I feel like I had to be perfect, because like I grew this audience, but like no, like if I'm going through this, like who am I to say if someone else is or not? And I feel like by me being vulnerable and being human is going to allow them to feel safe, being vulnerable and human, and then reach that next level, and that next level of awareness as well. So that's why, like I say, it goes back to community. Knowing that other people are like you allows you to be more like yourself, and not feel like you have to step outside of your body to get things done, or where you're currently at.
Yeah, like hearing you say that, it just be the initiator. Like open up first. be vulnerable first. Show people that it's okay first, and then they'll know that it is, and they'll be more attracted to you as well. Like for our business, like people business. If people don't feel comfortable with us, then they're not going to work with us. So we have to show that we relate to them. We have to show that we understand the struggle. We understand the pain. We got to be vulnerable, because like that is the value. Like the nurturing is the value. The ability. Actually, Monet, she had asked yesterday, like, what's the difference between consulting and coaching? And I was like, actually, I don't really know. So I looked it up, and it was consulting is basically like you get like, so let's say you wanted to consult me on YouTube, Erin, right? Mm-hmm. I'd basically tell you, all right, do this, and then shut up. Yeah. But coaching is like, all right, you're here. Okay, here's what we can do. Here's what you can do. Here's how I can help you. Here's this mindset. Here's this belief that you need to break. It's like coaching is actually like the nurturing of the person. It's actually like growing the person. It's making the person better so they can do it on their own. Consulting is more so like, I'm just telling you what to do. It's not really evolving the other person as much.
Yeah, it's more intimate. That's why I was reflecting. I was like, remember I was telling you how like when it comes to me creating my courses, I feel like I was trying to be too much of a doctor, and I'm like, that's the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, to not be like a doctor. I'm not going to just give you prescriptions, do this, do that, and I don't see you again. I don't even know your last name. I don't care. Pay this money, right. Here's the prescriptions. Where like even me like helping people with nutrition, I don't just give them like, you know, the foods to eat. We dive deep into like the creativity, we dive deep into the spirituality, because those go hand in hand.
Talk more about that. How does your nutrition, how does your diet affect your creativity and spirituality?
Your diet affects your creativity and spirituality, because a lot of spiritual creators, myself and others, we experience mental blocks, not necessarily blocks, but like brain fog or like lack of clarity. And
it's a block.
Yeah, I try not to use the word block anymore.
I respect that. But doesn't mean, just because a block is there, doesn't mean it has to stay. You know what I mean?
Okay. We can do that. But mental blocks, and then like, especially being a woman, like we tap inward to like express, to give value, to create. So if our body isn't clear, if our body is lazy or beat down or not healthy, if we're not keeping the energy flowing through our body, then we're going to be limited as far as our creation. Like, whereas a man, like, it's just as important, but they don't need their body to create. They don't have to go as deep inward to create. Like you guys can go for a long time.
We don't have to rely on feeling good.
Yes, you don't have to. No, as simple as that. You don't have to rely.
No, like exactly. And that's exactly like when we were talking the other day and like you were resistant to what I was telling you. I knew it was because you weren't feeling it. And I was like, okay, respectfully, obviously what I'm telling you right now isn't going to make you feel it. But when Jake said what he said, I was like, this is going to make Erin feel it.
Yeah. Because he came, I think the biggest thing is because he approached me with the feeling. Like in a sense of like, share what you're currently feeling instead of
exactly.
Get up and do this and do this. Mm-hmm. So I think that made the biggest difference.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's big. Like, no, go ahead.
Oh, keep going.
I wasn't even going to say anything for real.
Okay. For real is crazy. But, yeah, so women, we have to feel good to do good. Like, that's just what it is. And knowing that is how you can use it to your advantage. And for me, the way that I do it is by eating better, because my energy is naturally more clear. And even when I am going through things, I still can be receptive. I'm not like, I don't completely block myself out. That's what I experienced this week. Like, even when I'm going through things, I'm still, like I said, energetically surviving. Like, I'm still flowing. Like, I can still hear, I can still see, I still have awareness, even though I might not be, like, at my best. And I feel like that's so important as a woman, because if we're not feeling good, we can crash and go into dark places. And it just allows us to not move forward as efficiently as we can. And I believe that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it did change everything for me. Like, just something that simple. Like, people equate working out or like eating healthy to just losing weight and stuff. Like, no, it's way deeper than that. Like, even my part-time job, I work at like the superfood store, and me seeing the people that come in, like the energy is completely different. Like, you can tell they're super present with me. Like, they're more awake, like their skin is glowing. Like, it's just a whole different embodiment, and I'm pretty sure spiritual creators are able to tap into this. Like, I feel like the world would genuinely be ours.
Yeah, that's real. Like, there's so much bullshit in our food, just destroying us, keeping us with like low mental clarity, keeping us with brain fog, like inflamed brains. It's actually crazy. Like, that's like, when you were saying that, it was like, you have to have this lifestyle. Like, this cannot be like a one time. This cannot be a diet. You know what I mean? Or something you do for like a month or two because you have a goal. No. This is what it is now. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's really how you have to see like a lot of the things in life. Like, we often have this like temporary lens for these things that actually just aren't temporary at all. You know what I mean? It's just like creating is not temporary. Creating is infinite. It's forever. You should always be creating. I mean, maybe not every day if you know, I create every day but if like we have to do this. We have these things that are a part of us. We have these things that we feel compelled to do. We feel drawn to do. And if these are part of your lifestyle, then you're probably depressed. It's like, if you don't have these things that you're supposed to be doing in your life, then you're not going to be having the vibrancy and the joy, the energy that life is supposed to be offering you. Life is beautiful. But so many people don't think that way or don't see that because the way they're living is reflecting that.
Yeah, it's so interesting because like what allowed me to like the first eye opener is like when I take vacations. Like, I love vacations, but my thing is like I hear women always say like, oh, I gotta lose weight for this vacation. I'm like, okay, but what about the rest of your life? Like, you're just only gonna be healthy for this 1 week. Like, it just like that logic blew my mind so much. And even the women in my family, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to help them so bad. But just going back to the vacations, like, people enjoy vacations. They always get inspired by vacations. Like, they come back glowing, they feel good. And why, when you get back to your home, do you feel different? Because you're not incorporating that lifestyle in your daily life. Like vacation time doesn't just exist on vacation. Like, every day should be your vacation, like, which is like the source of why I do what I do, to make every day like blissful, orgasmic, like vibrant. Like, it shouldn't just be on vacation where you feel good, you're in the sun. Like, no, you can get in the sun at home. Like, so just making it like you just mentioned, a lifestyle is super, super big, which is why I didn't market myself as just like Whole Foods. I'm like, no, this is like so much deeper. It needs to be a lifestyle, because when you make it a lifestyle, I don't have to force you to do it anymore. Like, you fall in love with it. Yeah, that's the main things.
That's so real. Like, you have to change what you value if you want to change your life. Like, I was talking to Minnie yesterday, and she was talking about like her financial struggles, and I've been in the same boat. I spent most of my money in my life on escapism, video games, weed, drugs, like alcohol, like all this bullshit, buying food and shit. Like, that's because I valued that. I valued not being here. I valued not being here.
Yeah. Ooh.
But I don't value those anymore. I value myself. I value my education. I value my betterment. I value my people. I value my freedom. And so that's what I invest in. Like, I don't spend money on bullshit anymore. I spend money on my business and my education. That's really it. I want to start buying more. Like, I actually want to start actually investing into my health as well, in terms of like better food and stuff. That's something that's really important to me. So, because
it's gonna take you to the next level. Like, because even before I got deep into this, I'm like, okay, God has already given me gems. Like, the downloads are here. So just imagine when you have a clear energy field, it's like the creativity like overflows so much. And I just like I mentioned, if every like entrepreneur feels that way, like, yo, there would be like no limitations, no limits, because there would just be too much to where like you have to execute.
That's literally like.
I was gonna say, like, changing what you value is so big. Like, oh my gosh, I used to spend my money on it. Not much escapism, but just to like on a positive note, it feels so good to change what you value. Like, people like look at diet and like education as like work, but like when you're into this and it allows you to create and you actually feeling good, like the focus, like I said, for women,
this is lit.
Feeling good, like
yeah.
People talk about like, oh, you just eat salads all day. Like, no, like when I eat fruit or like an acai bowl or like, I don't know, poke.
Acai bowls be popping.
Yeah, like I feel so good. Like, oh my gosh, I was eating like I made a smoothie.
So real.
And I felt so calm, like, oh my gosh, like, it's like literally eating feelings. So, like, you can either eat something, no, like, I'm so serious.
No,
You
I
can
know.
either eat something that's gonna make you feel calm, relaxed, like, just bliss, or you can go get the apple pie from McDonald's and, like, go take a nap and do nothing after it. So, like, when I make my decisions as far as food, choose how you want to feel. Like, that simple logic alone, like, allows you to make better decisions with your food.
It's because the prana, the life energy in the food.
Yeah. Everything has
when
energy.
we eat, exactly, and we actually eat stuff that has energy instead of trash, you feel better. I mean, it's just how it works. You know what I mean?
And like, God is so good how He allows us to like connect deeper through food, something that we have to survive on, something that we naturally enjoy anyways. We just need to make better decisions on them. And you know, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the gut and the brain is literally connected. So just that alone, what are you doing? What would you feed your brain? Like,
it's a good question. That's because like most people just don't value their brains. I think that's what it is.
No, it sounds so funny, but like that's
no,
true.
it's
Like, if
the
you're
real.
not using it for nothing, like if you just existing in life, you don't have to use your brain that much. So I mean,
exactly,
that makes sense. But that's why it's imperative for creators. Like, no, it's time for you to get to the other side because we need our brains, we need everything in the inside and out. So
yeah, I want to talk about purposeful productivity because like that is everything. Like you're talking about like when you have the energy, when you want to do it, you do it. That's literally my whole philosophy.
Yeah.
It's like when you have something that you love, you work harder, you work more, and you produce better work because you enjoy it and because it's impacting people that you want to impact. It's like if you have something that is fun, it's fulfilling, and it's flow state inducing, you're just going to crush everyone because no one's going to be able to put in the work that you do. I was saying this to Minna yesterday too, like I'm not disciplined. I just do the work because I love it.
Hold on, it's going out. Dude, it's going out. No, mine's just like. Hold on. Say what you just said again. Sorry.
I said I'm not disciplined. I do what I love because I love it.
Yeah, like when you're in that love state, oh my gosh, like I think that's another thing that like makes spiritual entrepreneurship different. Is like we produce from love, and like with love, like there's just no limitations, and that's why it's a lifestyle. Like fall in love with the lifestyle, and there's like that's it. Everything else will handle itself. You don't have to motivate yourself. You don't have to do anything. Just do what you love, and it's just gonna overflow.
Exactly. Like if you can just do what God put you here to do, whatever you're feeling called to do, you know what that is. As long as you do that, trust me, you will start feeling better. Like literally like this. I promise you. There were days where I didn't do what I knew I should be doing and I felt like trash. And the next day I would do it and I was like, oh, this is actually good. Like I realized this on like, I think this was May 15th or 16th. It was like a couple days into like when I first started daily uploads, like because I mean May 15th was the day I started. That was actually actually let me tell this story real quick. So that's when I was still very much in my head back in May, like halfway through May. I was nowhere near where I'm at right now. I've made so much progress over the last 2 months, but mainly that's come from my forgiveness and accepting and letting go of a lot of things. But back in May, I was like still in my head very much, and I just posted a video. I'd been posting inconsistently the past couple of weeks. And I get a comment. And the guy's like, he's resonating with what I was saying. It was really dope. And then he was like, hey, bro, like, you should post more. Like, you got value to share. Like, what's in that negative? You know? I was like, yeah, you know, that's real, bro. Like, I definitely do have stuff I want to tell more. Like, I have value I want to provide to the world. But I was in my head a lot, right? And I was like, dang, bro, you think we could hop on a call, you know? We could talk about it. And he was like, if you need an external push, you're already losing yourself to self-doubt. Start today.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know who that was? Mr. Jake Bowden himself.
That just sounds like, the way you even said it, I was like, Jake.
And ever since May 15th, every single day. And I mean, there was a lot of resistance at first, but eventually I got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of feeling blocked. I'm tired of what I still have in here. I'm tired of like still holding on to these things. And I was mainly like this like feeling of inauthenticity because of like this damaged relationship with my grandmother. And that was like throwing off my feminine, right? And because of that, I wasn't able to receive. I wasn't able to feel. I wasn't able to show myself authentically. And like one day I'm just sitting in bed and I'm just like, Jay, you can forgive her in your heart. You can forgive her in front of God. Obviously it ain't work yet. You got to forgive her to her. Right. Mm. And so I called her up, and it was a very powerful conversation. And honestly, like I told myself for years I wouldn't do it. I told myself that for years. And then it's just like, why would I keep holding myself back for nothing? I heard, I don't remember exactly who I heard this from. It might have been Hamza, but he had said like, you're holding on to this thing, right? The thing is, your parents, they're only getting older and older every day, right? It's like the best time to tell them is literally right now, because the longer you push, the longer you wait for them, and like the older they get, and then the longer you're also holding on to this. It's like, why would you continuously do this to yourself? Why do you want to keep pushing back the deadline? I don't get that, right? And I was just like when I had that mindset, it was just like, what I'm doing doesn't make sense. Like I had already healed that relationship with my dad. I healed that relationship with my mom, but I was still blocked, and I knew why, and I was just not doing it.
Yeah.
And then eventually I just did it. And after that, I was like, oh, wow, I'm free.
Yeah.
And it's like, ever since then, I've just been rolling.
Yeah. Cause like when we store emotions, it's like this, like in your heart or something. And then when you let go, it just clears everything out. Like even like to go back to like nutrition, like weight isn't just because you're eating a lot. A lot of the times it's emotions, stored emotions. So it's so beautiful how, I don't know where I was going, God. I'm sorry. It just like went away. But yeah, I love that so much. I feel like I need to do the same with my mother currently. Like things are good, but it's there.
They could be better.
Yeah, it could be better.
It's like, let me tell you this actually, like growing up, me and my mom barely said I love you to each other. And it was just because that's how my mom grew up. You know, like my grandmother, that's my mom's mom, right? And so like my grandmother grew up with a very cold mother, which is why I understood, but I didn't want to talk to her about it, which is why I could forgive her in my heart, but I had to forgive her to her because I needed to have that conversation with her, right? And I knew why she was like that, and I knew why my mom was like that, and I knew why I was like this. But just because you know doesn't mean that you're over it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like that is so powerful. Like when I left Jersey last year, I was like, bro, like I refuse to like keep living, not spreading this love to my mom, not telling her I love her. Like this is bullshit. I love my mom. I want to tell her that. It's like, yeah. It was like my throat chakra was so blocked, and I just like, I don't want to do this. Like I want my mom to know this. I want to feel this. I want to keep telling her this because like my mom has multiple sclerosis. I don't know when I'll have her. Like I don't know how long, much longer. And I like
take your time.
I really saw like myself as like the vehicle for opening my mom's heart as well. And like my mom's had a hard life, and I knew that like I wasn't doing what I wanted to do for her, and that hurt. And so I started, and I started telling her I loved her every time I called her. And eventually I got to the point where it was like, Jay, you got to get to work. Because like, I don't know how much time I have. And I can't spend my time like worrying about my mom's health. Yeah. I don't want my mom to spend her time worrying about her health. I want her to just be flowing, be free, be in love, right?
Yeah.
But no one can do that for her except me. Yeah. That's my job, honestly. And that I think it's very beautiful that as a man, like, you can have this like sense of responsibility and like need to provide. That it is pressure and it is weight, but it's also like, this is what I'm here for. Like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, it's fuel.
And I think that it's so fueling. Yeah, it's like, this is like, and like, honestly, like, I'm going so hard, like, for me, of course, because I want to be free. But really, like, I'm doing this for my parents. Like, I'm doing it for my mom. I'm doing it so my mom never has to weigh again. I'm doing it so my dad can get the fuck out of his job that he hates and be the best man that he can be.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm doing it. And like, that is very beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it's like so beautiful how like we like, yeah, we understand our parents. We feel like our parents or could be damaged or this and that, but like, no, they are the propellers for the next generation to improve, and that's how it's supposed to be. Because if everything was perfect, then what would we be inspired by? You know, and like even with my mom, she's similar. I can definitely relate. Like, she's not the type to, like, you know, cuddle with me or like say I love you too much. Like, she expresses her love in different ways. But that also is the reason why I'm more like cuddly. Like, I'll say I love you. Like, that's why I've shifted deeper into that, because of her lack. And I think it's so amazing how we can take what they don't have and create that with the next generation.
Yeah, my dad, growing up, he says to me, like, or used to say, the role of a man is to be a better father than his father was to him. Right? The role of a father is to be a better father to his child than his father was to you, right? And my dad's an amazing father. And unfortunately, I haven't always been able to tap into that because of my circumstances. Like, my parents, funnily enough, I'm the product of their last hookup. My parents have never been together my whole life. And that is like, I've just never had to, like, I've never been able to like fully have both of those figures. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, I had my grandparents, but those are my parents.
Yeah, it's different.
And like, there's a gap there, and it's like, there's such a big misunderstanding between how I am and how they, and it was always such a big miscommunication, which is why I was like, well, what's the point? Which is why I felt blocked. And so like, I didn't like have as much of like that masculine or feminine energy that I needed, and I lacked both of them, and I had to just figure it out on my own for a long time. But like, when I was super depressed back at college last year because I was like, well, this is stupid, I don't want to be here.
That's real.
I was like, I need my dad. Like, I need his masculine anchor as I go explore the wilderness. So I was like, I'm lost. I got to go find something. But I was like, I need that direction, right? I need that. And I was like, I'm not going to have that where I'm at, you know? And that's why I decided to come here down to Georgia. And I had so many conversations with my dad about like myself, and like I knew that I had to open up to him and like show him like, you know, these dark things about me and like these things that were affecting me. And I had to honestly, like, the biggest struggle I've always faced is being vulnerable with the people closest to me. And it's because like I learned early on because of my grandmother that I shouldn't express how I feel because they just won't get it. So what's the point? And so like that just, it kept me blocked. And I had to do so much work to fight, you know, wanting to lie, fight wanting to just deny. I had to like choose courage so many times to like initiate those conversations. And you know, I had a lot with my dad, and there was one with my mom. Like, my mom's an amazing woman and I love her very much. But growing up, like, she has multiple sclerosis, which is like a neurodegenerative disorder. And so it's like, she's had it my whole life. She's had it since like 2 months after she had my sister, 25 years. And so it's like, I've seen her health deteriorate my whole life, and I've had to be there for her. I've had to lend my own energy. I've had to lend my own life force to her. Right. And of course, I'm her son and I love my mom and I want to do that. I want to help her. But it sucked that I had to sacrifice myself a lot of the time for her. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that. And that was something that I held on to. And I was like, I don't know if I should tell my mom this because I didn't want to hurt her. But I was like, I'm holding on to this though, and this is blocking our relationship. And that was something else. Like that was the biggest block for me. Like telling my mom that I was like, Mom, like I felt like you took advantage of me sometimes. And of course, like it's not like malicious, but this is how I felt and this is how it was. And that kept me like wanting to like be distant from you sometimes. And understanding these things, like having these conversations with these people, like this is what has allowed me to like step into myself, step in closer to my heart, because I stepped out of here and got into here because I thought people wouldn't understand this. And so as soon as like every time I decided to have that conversation, I shifted closer and closer. I took another step closer to the heart.
Yeah.
And eventually like after I talked to my grandma, I was like, oh, now we're fully in there because there's no more blocks.
Yeah. I think like the biggest thing is like you have to be open, like to everyone, even the closest people around you where you feel like they don't understand you. Like that's not important. That's not your responsibility for them to understand you or not. It's your responsibility to be open and keep your energy clear, because you have a bigger responsibility than you worrying about if they understand you or not. So now I feel like that goes back. Yeah, and that goes back to like your purposeful productivity. Like you can't have none of that without having that larger purpose at hand. And that larger purpose is what's going to allow everything to be balanced in our personal lives as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
I appreciate you for being vulnerable, Jaden. I'm pretty sure they're going to enjoy this.
Of course.
I know that was hard. I'll tell you guys how it plays out when I finally get to the, things with me and my mother. But I think with me and my mother, I don't have a problem sharing it. I think I need to take my own advice and not worry about how she receives it. I think that's the biggest thing right now, because I know she's not going to receive it well, because even when I like try to tap into it, she just gets all defensive and it just triggers her so much. But I have to not worry about that the next time I go in and just express how I felt over the years and why I acted the way that I act, or like why I was the way I was, because even relating to like how you feel like that's made you who you were at some point, I feel the same way. I'm like, I feel like I could have avoided a lot of like things in life if I had had this type of nurturing beforehand. So I feel like it's important, and that's really going to get you to the next level, remaining open. You have to.
I don't remember which video. I recorded this in the past couple of days, but I said that like shifting closer into my heart, opening my heart more, and being more open to love, being less accepting of judgment, like all the time, every time I catch myself. It's like Aaron, I stopped killing bugs.
I can't.
It's
I'm
like
so scared of bugs.
I just want to shift so close into the heart that I just see all as one. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I know I have to do. I know that's the message I have to spread. It's like, I'm here to be the nurturer. I'm here to be the empath, the intuitive. I'm here to show people that this is the way. I'm here to show people that you can do this and you can be vulnerable, and you should be, actually, because that's the best way to live. In my opinion, it's the only way to live.
It's like going back to like Christ consciousness. Like it's all love. Like it's like that's why I think Jesus is like one of the most amazing examples like ever, like to be created, because it's all based on love. And so much that are people like there's going to be friction to it, because that's what a lot of people don't have at the same time. But like the love is everything. Like it's always been that.
It's everything.
Simple. But a lot of people aren't able to tap into it. Okay, Jaden, seriously though, what about roaches? Like, you're just gonna let them like just crawl around in your room or something?
It's tough. I haven't gotten there yet. I've only seen like a couple spiders so far. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna let you rock, gang.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to break out of this. I've been so scared of bugs my whole life, especially like
Me too.
Almost got kicked out of an apartment because I was screaming so loud and there was a roach in there. Like, I'm so serious. Like, it's so bad. And, like, now when I scream, it's, like, less loud than the other time. So I feel like I'm improving. So, like, remember when I was, like, voice memoing you the other day? I was like, oh, the bug spray. Like, like
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Like, I'm literally just always going through it. Like, I will spray my whole room to where I can't even breathe in here anymore because it's bug spray just everywhere. Like,
that's actually crazy.
like, I need to overcome it because I'm like, there's no way I can live like this forever. And like the places I like to travel to are like super nature oriented. Like, I gotta overcome that.
Definitely. Yeah. Honestly, like, it really is like, I mean, I've been repeating this to myself a lot lately, and it's what God made alive, let no man harm.
I'm trying to think about the roaches. Like, how could I just? That's so true. I definitely feel like if you look at it from a place of love and oneness, it's easier to not think about killing them. I will.
You know what the first one was for me? I was like, I had to accept that mosquitoes were just gonna suck my blood.
Okay,
I stopped judging the mosquitoes. I swear to God, Aaron. I was like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't really get upset at mosquitoes. It itches and stuff, but like, I mean, I can't.
No, mosquitoes used to piss me off, bro. I get attacked.
It's funny.
Dude, like I had a week where I had 13 bites on one leg.
Yo, Jaden, we was eating good or something that week.
No, they was eating good. Fuck.
Yo, dude, they was like, yo, this is some good stuff. Oh my
It's always been how, like, the mosquitoes have always loved me, bro. But I was just like, hey, bro, obviously I just, I got it. So they need me to live. Is what it is.
Yeah. I never thought about, like, I think we're so used to mosquitoes. I never thought about the fact that they literally suck our blood. Like, that's kind of, like, deep and, like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, we never think about it like that because we're just used to it. But it's just kind of like...
Oh, no, I always think about it like that.
And now that I'm finally thinking
because I'm a
about
scientist.
It, like, that's some interesting stuff. Like, you really come and suck our blood.
Vampires.
Maybe they're the actual, like, spiritual vampires or something like that.
Yeah, bro. So, Aaron, our journeys to where we are now.
Oh, God.
Do you want to start?
Dang, this is the part where I'm like, oh, did we really write this down to talk about? Like, do I have to open up?
Do you want me to go first? I'll
go, because you just
sure?
a lot, yeah.
Okay,
the journey to now. Oh, I'm still at a place where I'm trying to forgive it and use it as, like, I wouldn't be here without it. Because right now I view it as, like, I've wasted, like I'm young. I don't know. I need to get my mindset out of this. But I feel like because I move so quick, I feel like I've wasted so much time. So I kind of developed, like, I don't know, like, I'm just working on accepting, like, the things that I've went through to get here. And I don't know, I feel like I should have had a deeper relationship with God because that would have saved me from a lot. And the journey till now was just a bunch of trial and error and rejecting myself, rejecting my gifts, not knowing that they could be used for something, just honestly lack of knowledge. And I feel like that's why YouTube, like, is a game changer for everyone, because you can find your people in there, and, like, there's people like you, there's so much knowledge. And like I mentioned, I think the lack of knowledge is, like, the biggest one. And I just feel like I wasted a lot of time. And who I am today, I've always been. I just never was able to tap into it, like I said, or view it as anything, or I just accepted the fact that I was different and I didn't know what to do with that. So I just always did my own thing, and it wasn't always purposeful, but I escaped in my own way, I would say. I don't really know how to, like, even, like, story tell, or like maybe like your stuff will like help me get more clear on it. But I don't know. I feel sad. Like my life wasn't bad before I got to this point, but I just feel sad that like I guess I'm not focusing like on the good times. I'm just focusing on like the times that pushed me back. And I think because I value my time so much now, it makes me realize like how much time I wasted back then.
There's no such thing as wasted time.
I know. That's so true.
No. You don't know.
Okay. I don't know. You're so right. I literally don't know.
Every single thing that has happened in your life, you chose.
I did. But I
your
feel
soul
like
chose this. Your soul chose this path, Aaron. Why?
Okay.
Because you needed the lessons. You needed the hard times. You needed the bad stuff. You needed the wasted time. You needed the escapism. Why? So you can alchemize. So you can turn your pain into purpose. So you can serve your people.
Thank you, Jaden.
It's just the price you paid for the lessons. That's it.
Thank you, Jaden. Because even like the biggest one for me is boundaries. Like now it's like they're there, but in like from a place of love, and it's because of like the way I got here. Not having boundaries is like the biggest thing that like took me down certain paths, and like now I have them, but it's from a beautiful place. It's because I value myself more, and you have to protect like the little girl in me now even more, and I have to make sure that I'm always tapped into her and fully being her.
That's your artist. That is your creator.
Yeah. Okay, Jaden, say that one more time about how like my soul chose those, and like say it one more time.
All right, Robert's been putting me onto this. We are in a spiritual simulation game. Okay. And our soul chose this path because there is some work that we needed to do, and there are lessons that we needed to learn in order to do that work. Every single thing that has happened in your life, your parents, your name, your place of birth, your struggles, your wins, every single thing your soul chose before you even incarnated. So it could have the path to walk, to learn the lessons, to evolve, and to do what it had to do, which is expand the collective. I mean, that's what we're all here to do, expand the collective. Yeah. How we do that's individual. And that's what your soul chose, that path.
Yeah.
How empowering is that?
It is. I think I need to sit with it more, but it does make me feel better knowing that, like I mentioned, I literally wouldn't be where I am without the path that I took, that I chose, that I was drawn to at the time. It was for a reason. Like everything, like there's a quote like that says everything that works out for the good for those who like love the Lord and stuff. And that's like similar. It's like everything, just in general, everything works out for the greater good. And I feel like that simple sentence helps me a lot even now. That like even when I'm going through something, like there's some good out of it. There's a lesson from it. It's nothing is for no reason, pretty much.
Everything happens for a reason. Everything.
Yeah.
There are no coincidences in life. All is mind. Mentalism is the world. Everything's happening. You chose this.
Yeah, I mean, you chose this is crazy, but it's so true. I chose. So,
I want you to adopt this mindset, Aaron. Stop looking back. Okay? You're in a car right now, okay? And you're driving forward, right? And you're on the highway, you're cruising. You got your left mirror. You got your right mirror. There ain't no rear view, though. There's no looking back.
Yeah. It's crazy because I definitely like used to struggle with going back with a lot of stuff. Like
I can tell.
That was one of my things. And like even now, like I get tested. Like I'm like, no, like I try to shift my mind. I'm like, no, like we're in a new place now. Like I'm good on that. Like, and Jesus, that's like a big one because that's for me, just looking back too much for no reason. And
what does looking back do for you?
It makes me go back to where I was in that space.
Exactly.
And who wants to go there?
The only reason you should be looking back is to reframe your situation in a positive light. This is actually very interesting. The only difference between people with PTSD and something called post-traumatic stress growth is how you frame your narrative. It is literally what you tell yourself. If you say that, like literally, like I heard this from a doctor. His name is Dr. K, but he's a psychiatrist. And he has a YouTube channel called Healthy Gamer GG, where he does like mental health stuff. I love Dr. K. He's all about bringing like spiritual concepts and science together. And he talked about how cancer patients say cancer is the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's like a mind fuck, right? And it's like, what the fuck do you mean by that?
No, I get
but
it.
It's like cancer brought to light so many things that were wrong in my life. It allowed me to take action. It made me take ownership. It showed me what I did have to be grateful for. And when you can shift, how you like see the things that have happened to you, when you can shift your trauma, when you can alchemize your pain into purpose, like that is the power. Like we all have the ability to do this. It is merely just perspective. It's just cognitive reframing. There are 3 ways to cope: emotional coping, escapism; action-oriented coping, putting in the work in the real world; and there's cognitive reframing, changing what you believe.
Yeah, that just opened up a lot for me because it got me to the root of like, even like where I'm at right now with the foods. Like this all started from something that I thought was so traumatic, and it got me to like literally like it was a propeller. Like when you mentioned, thank God for cancer. Like that's how I feel about something in my life, and I wouldn't like be where I'm at without me having this cancer in my life.
So let's talk about mine. So me and we were actually funny. I'm gonna make a video about this. This is gonna be like my story when I hit like 10K a month or something. The title is gonna be how heartbreak turned me into a 10K a month entrepreneur.
Oh my gosh, heartbreak! It's so, like just going back to like love, how love is everything. Heartbreak is everything too. Like the heartbreak alchemy is crazy because like even
it's so powerful.
Yeah, like, even like right now, like I don't want to talk about my love life. Like I'm just okay. Let me open up a little bit.
You want me to go first?
This one's gonna be short. So
okay.
I had a huge crush on someone, and then I felt like rejected. I don't know if it's something I need to work through, but like I interpreted like the communication as rejection, and that allowed me to focus more on like my work. So it's not like as deep as a heartbreak, but it's just like love, and like whether you're drawn to, whether you have it or not, it just creates more depth with you and whatever you're doing. Like even if it's good, even if it's bad, like it all goes back to you tapping in deeper with yourself.
100%. Yeah, like all right, we'll tell my story. So I met this girl, let's call her Jessica, in September 2023. And we'd met at like the smoke spot at the school, right? It was when I was at college. And we had like met through some mutual friends. One of my friends, Zeta from high school, she was in classes with her. And so we had like linked up. There's like me, a few of my homies, and then her and a few of her friends. So it was like 6, 7 of us, right? And we were at the smoke spot, right? So we were blowing down. And I see her, I'm like, right? She over there looking good and shit, right? And so I'm like, okay. But I'm like, I'm not doing nothing though, because I was a pussy. So I didn't actually talk to her, right? I didn't actually try to like get up with her, right? But like later that day I texted Zeta, I'm like, yo, like Jessica got a man or something? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, fuck. I was like, she like him for real?
Yo, oh my god. Classic man theme. Classic.
And she was like, Jaden, I'm so over you. I was like, all right, fair enough. So fast forward to... Okay. Nah, go ahead. Nah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, even though it sounds crazy, that's how it be. Like, do you really like him for real? Like, because most of the time there's like a space open for something like, okay, keep going, whatever. That's how it be, though.
Nah, for real. But, all right, so fast forward to October, right? So my boy Reem, mm-hmm. he started to date Jessica's best friend. Let's call her Stacy. So they started hanging out, right? They were messing with each other for about 2 weeks at this point. And I checked Reem's location one day, right? I see he's at the smoke spot. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I bet he's with Stacy, and that means Jessica's there too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm about to pull up, gang. You know what I mean? So I slide through, right? I go over there. And like Reem had been telling me like this past week, he's like, yo, Jessica and her man. I'm like, oh, word? Say no more. So I pulled up there, right? I copped some Bally off Reem, and I went up to her and I was saying what's popping, right? So I was like, what's good, Jessica? And she said what's up to me, and she was like, yo, I seen you in your dorm last week and you ain't say nothing to me. I was like, what you mean? I ain't even see you, right? And like as soon as she said that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
baby.
you're in there.
I was like, I'm in, baby. So I'm like, I didn't even see you. What you mean? So we was talking a bit, right? So I rolled up, and she was trying to dip out, but I was like, yo, what you doing? You ain't even hit my L yet. You got to sit your fine ass back down, right? So she chilled for like another 10 minutes, and I got her number then. And that was like, I think that was Monday. On Wednesday, on Wednesday, on Wednesday, we like basically like we texted like all day Tuesday. She didn't come to campus on Tuesdays, I'm pretty sure. On Wednesday, we were talking, and she was like, "Yo, I'm home alone for the next 2 weeks because my mom, she's Ecuadorian. Her mom went back to Ecuador." Mm-hmm. And I was like, she was saying she was thinking about coming to campus and chilling with Stacy. I was like, how about you come to campus and chill with me? She was like, all right, then. I was like, ooh.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Oh gosh.
So basically she spent the night with me on Friday. We did the things, of course. And on Sunday, she'd like went back home Saturday night, she'd like left campus again. And on Sunday, she hit me and she was like, yeah, Jaden, I think we should just be friends. So I was like, what you mean? Right? Because we were like vibing like super crazy. So I was like, what's going on? Like I was lost. And she had told me that her ex, who was her first everything, had like opened up to her about some other stuff, and it was like getting to her a lot. And I was like, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy when you said it. I thought about it, I was like, the guy came back. That's like the only, yeah.
So basically, throughout the rest of October, we were flopping in between friends and not friends. And that basically continued until like that basically was like how it was basically all of October and November. And after we like went on Thanksgiving break, she was like, yeah, Jaden, like this is a no-go, right? And I was like, all right, respectfully, fair enough, right? So we still wanted to like be friends because we still like cared about each other a lot. But I was definitely like, oh yeah, I'm still holding on here. I was in that for sure. I was heavy in that.
Yeah.
And like all throughout like December, like we were mainly on break in December. And I know that she picked up on that, and she was like very distant from me most of that time. And we came back to campus from winter break January 15th. And when we'd she like wanted to pull up so we could like smoke in my dorm, and like her friends would come through. We always hung out. And I like went downstairs to, go like greet them, like sign them in so they could come upstairs, right? And I go to like give her a hug, and she like gives me like a side hug. I was like, so I was like, okay, that's weird. So we're upstairs, right? And something was happening, right? She's like sitting on the bed, and she said something to me. So I was getting in her face being annoying because that's how I am. And she pushed me away from her. So I was like, okay.
Wait, this was after this is while you guys are friends or like still friends?
Yeah, this is when we're friends. No, we weren't. This was like, we are friends. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But we were very like even like still like that energy was like, it was completely different. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is odd. And 2 days later, she texted me and she was like, she told me she had a boyfriend or something like that. And that killed me because she said she didn't want to be with me. And I
said the man ego is so crazy. Like, all she said was I have a boyfriend. She don't want to be with me. Well,
nah, it wasn't like that. It was that like we were like, I mean, there's a lot of details I'm like leaving out here, but like I never vibe with anybody like her. And like it was mutual. You know what I mean? But she was like, nah, me and you aren't gonna happen, Jaden. You know what I mean? And so like it crushed me that her and someone else was happening. Because I was like, well, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? That's where I was at. And so honestly, that day I like gave up on myself. I really wanted to like reinvigorate this like energy I had for school. I was like, the first semester I was like majoring in physics, but I was like, yeah, I love physics, I love science, don't give a fuck. So I wanted to pivot into like sociology, right? Because I love helping people.
I love sociology.
And literally that was like a week into the first semester, I never went to class again. I was like, what's the point? I didn't care. I didn't care about anything. Honestly, I didn't care about myself. The only thing I cared about was her.
Wow.
And I was so fucked. 3 weeks later, I actually like reached out to like the like psychological services called Counseling Psychological Services, like the therapist they have on campus. And we were talking about that, and we basically talked about like where I was, and on like our third or fourth session, we kind of got to like the consensus, right? Her name was Hope. She's actually from Newark too. That's my home city. And she was like, Jaden, I think you don't want to be here. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. But it was like I needed someone else to like confirm that. I needed someone like to pull that out of my subconscious and show it was like dangling right in front of me. And I was like, yeah, that's 1,000,000% correct. But I still felt very stuck because I was like, well, I don't want to go back home because I didn't want to be with my grandparents because I didn't want to hear what they had to say about me not being in school. I didn't want to get a job either. It was like I knew if I had to go home, then I was
telling the grandparents we don't want to go to school is like Jesus. I don't even know where to start. Like I went to that, but I don't think I didn't like have to tell them. And like it was like months after where I was just like, I told them I wasn't in school, but having it like, oh my gosh, like they're the worst when it comes to that because they're so old school. Like
yeah, and my grandparents didn't go, so they really wanted me to go.
Yeah, like when you're not in school, like for like when it comes to like grandparents, like you're basically not doing anything and you're basically homeless. Like that's how they view it. No, I'm so serious.
No cap though. No, you're right.
Like, and you have no future whatsoever. Like that's what goes in their head.
It's because they're wage slaves. Tragic. But yeah, like after that, like so I was still very much stuck because I was like, well, I don't want to be here, but I don't want to go home either. And so I was like, I had a few conversations with my best friend, and we were talking, and it was like, I had this like realization. I'm like, I need to not be in Jersey. It's like it's just not doing it for me. It's like I gotta go. I was like, it's not here. It's just not. And so I was like, I called my dad up, and I was like, yo, Dad, I gotta come back. And I mean, honestly, throughout the summer, I was still like, I started like, basically once I realized that I wanted to start moving, that's when I kind of like really started learning more. I started like actually caring about more of like my education. I started watching more self-improvement stuff. I started getting heavier into science and mental health because I wanted to figure out why I hated my life. And the big catalyst was when I actually like came down here. And I started watching like a bunch of content by Hormozy. I started getting big into like Andrew Huberman and Dr. K. And those three were like big for me in terms of like, just so much like education, just understanding why the way I was living was affecting me, understanding like these concepts and like being able to like break these things down into like, oh, okay, I get that. Like the reason I'm depressed is because I've been like doing shit that I don't want to do. I've been like living so inauthentically. I've been like frying my dopamine with all these drugs and shit. So I don't want to do anything. It's like, obviously, yeah, this makes sense, right? So, you know, I was still very much so like, it was very hard for me to like overcome a lot of my like substance use. But it really just came with like constant like picking at the dam. It's like constant like chipping away, constant introspection, constant education, trying to grow my awareness. But eventually I did like a lot of journaling, I did a lot of learning, I did a lot of introspection, and I got to the point where I was just like, Jay, you know what's in your way. It's just like, are you doing anything about it? And for months I wasn't. Like in December I knew what I had to do. But like it took me like 5 months to do all of it. And it was tough because like I knew everything I had to do, and I knew that where I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I still wasn't taking the action. And that is a hard area to be in. It's tough when you know, but you still can't move. That shit sucks a lot.
I was at that place last year as well. That's like when I felt like I wasted time. I was in that place for a long time, like just months and months going by, because you're not doing what you're like called to do, you start doing other things that have nothing to do with you, and then that's how you keep going deeper and deeper into that hole.
Dan likes to say that if you don't work for your own goals, you're working for someone else. Like you're always in alignment with a vision or a goal, and so if it's not yours, it's someone else's.
Yeah.
You are probably living out programming that someone else put onto you.
Yeah, and the more you don't live out, the more you're away from your own programming, the more you adopt other people's, like not even just one person. You're like, the more you're open to everyone else's like programming in general, when you're not clear on your own programming. Or what
100%. Yeah, so that was like, I was definitely in that for a while, and like, honestly, like a big like eye opener for me was like, I joined Adana School in December. And I got sober in December for like 3 weeks. I stopped smoking, I didn't watch porn, and on my birthday, December 30th, I relapsed. And on like maybe like somewhere around like the end of January, I started smoking again. And that last week of January, February, and like the first 2 weeks of March, I was just like completely in a haze. Like the time just flew. And I woke up halfway through March and I'm like, what the fuck? 2.5 of the months of the year are gone. And it was like, what do you mean? And that was like when I was like, I couldn't afford Adana School anymore either. And the manager, Hamza's brother, his name is Danish. He had like reached out to me, and actually I reached out to him and I told him that I was trying to get to the money for Adana School, but I wasn't sure if I'd actually be able to. And Danish had basically offered to like allow me to come back in to Adana School at like my reduced rate. So I like came in, I joined Adana School, I paid $500 up front, and then I was on like $99 a month after that. But Adana School had like pivoted into like a $129 recurring recently. So like if I had to rejoin, it would have been on that $129 recurring. But Danish had offered, he was like, no, Jaden, I'll let you come in for the $99 again. And in that moment I was thinking, I was like, nah, I don't want the handout.
Yeah.
I want this shit to hurt. It's like, if I'm going to come back, I want to earn it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I deserved that shit. And so, like, I was like, I appreciate the offer, Danish, but honestly, I'm going to decline. And I was kind of, like, already shifting out of Adana School because the message was kind of shifting a bit, and I didn't feel completely aligned with it. So I was kind of already on the way out. And in March, I was like, all right, bro. You know what you can, like, you have everything in here, Jaden. It's not even that I was like, I had the knowledge, and honestly, I had a lot of the beliefs too. But I think the biggest thing that was like really getting in my way was actually skills. Like I just didn't even know like what I could actually offer. Like I wanted to coach, but I just didn't have like any conviction in what I was trying to sell people because I didn't even know really. I was like, what have I really overcome? You know what I mean? And I I started like dabbling in videography. I started doing stuff like that. Started working with a guy named Joe. He's a hard money lender. He's a real estate investor. And I also did a couple things for another entrepreneur named Rich for his brand called Lao Mom. Least amount of effort, most amount of money. Pretty cool. But maybe like 3 weeks into doing video, I'm like, this shit is so whack. What the fuck? I was like, I like holding the camera. I like filmmaking. I love the art. But like this like mechanical, like shooting business events, this shit is so whack. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what you were talking about. Okay, no, this is okay. I'm thinking about something else. My bad.
Were you talking about business as a masculine game?
No, I'm talking about when you told me that when you started filming, like, when you started filming, you felt like you weren't being yourself, like that period. That's what I was like thinking about.
Do you mean when I was doing video, like videography?
No, like remember when you told me that when you came on, like for the first time, you weren't being yourself, like you were trying to be too masculine and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean that was in December? That was in December.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's honestly like that's honestly like why I like that's basically why I stopped like being consistent, because it's like I can't even consistently be myself. Who am I? Like I couldn't express myself authentically, so how could I do that on camera consistently?
Yeah.
And so like basically March and April I'd spent like doing videography, and I think it was like the second week of April I was like, yo, why the fuck am I sitting here making other shit for other people, doing videos for other people, trying to get clients for other people and not doing it for me? This is bullshit. So I started uploading daily videos again. I think like the third or fourth one popped off. It was Your Depression is a Symptom. And that was like my first 1K view video. And that video, I was at like 40 subs for mad long, and that video got me to like 60 subs or something like that.
Good.
And I got like so many like comments, so much positive reinforcement. And it was that same week I was doing stuff with Joe and with Rich. And so I got like so much like positive reinforcement, so much like assurance, but it was like way too overwhelming. I was like, I don't even know if I can deliver for real. Like I didn't feel like I was capable. And I folded, right? So I stopped doing the dailies and stuff, and I felt like I wasn't aligned with video either. And although like I was still like going and like helping Joe out because that's what I said I would do for him. But it just didn't feel aligned at all. And I was dabbling in like filmmaking. I was trying to make vlogs and stuff at that time because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to like get into that, but I was like, I'm not sharing the value that I know I have to share. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not expressing myself how I know I want to express myself. And halfway through May, I posted a video called We Are All Artists. And I already told you the story. My dog Jake commented. He was like, yo, Jake, go get the fuck to work, bro.
That was crazy.
And I don't remember exactly when I had that conversation with my grandmother. It was around the end of May, early June. No, it was the end. It was actually, it might have been a week into the daily uploads, because having that conversation with her, that allowed me to flow. And also during that time, I'd had this friend who I was helping, like basically unblock her creativity, work through her struggles and the things that she was going through with her family, and show her how that was blocking her. And that, having that connection, like having that relationship, helping her, helping my friend, and then like having that conversation with my grandmother that helped me feel unblocked, I was like, oh shit, I got it. I got to help my people unblock. And that was my first coaching offer, helping spiritual creators unblock their creativity. And I launched that. I launched DRC on June 1st with that offer. And on June 10th, it's actually my little brother Kanye's birthday, I'd gotten a comment that said, drop Cash App in description, ? From a loyal and loving subscriber. And so I was like, interesting. Want to support. I respect that. I appreciate that. And so in my head, I'm like, I could play this two ways. I can either drop the Cash App, or I can be a salesman. So I literally pitched her my product in the description. I mean, in the comment section.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, like, I appreciate you like wanting to support me, but I'm an entrepreneur, so I don't really feel good about taking money for free.
That's
It's
a
like
good
I
way
have
to.
something here to value. It's like we can trade value here. Like we can help each other out. So I want you to check this out. If you're interested, awesome. If you're not, can you just let me know why you wouldn't be so I can improve it? That was it.
Mm.
And she didn't reply. She didn't like the comment, which was like, oh, I got scared because she'd always replied to my comments. So I was like, damn, did I fuck up here?
Oh, that was
And
like.
2 days later, I'm going for like my mechanical school check. I was just opening school, going to my members, checking and seeing nobody, and then I'd close app. And I was going for that on July 12th, and I see Violet Flame, and I was just like, yo, let's go! Like, so I was so hyped. I got my first sale. That was June 12th, and I got my second on the 14th. I got my third on the 19th.
Wow.
I got my first sale at 187 subs, my second at 222, and my third at 300. And when I got that third one, I was like, I've done something here. The thing is, like, I knew you could convert on 1%. Like, I knew 50 to 100 views per video. Like, I knew averaging those numbers. I knew you could convert on 1% of your audience because that's what I learned in Adonis School. That's what I saw in Adonis School. I saw guys doing it. So I was like, I hit that third client on 300 subs. I was like, I need to show people that this is possible.
Yeah.
And that's when I pivoted into the YouTube coaching. So that was, I launched my YouTube product. I launched that like the last day of June. So that offer was, I don't remember the exact offer, but since then, I mean, since the first week of June, I mean, the first day of June till the second week, I mean, the first 2 weeks of July. Yeah, there we go. The first 2 weeks of July, I made $1,200 because I signed 5 new clients, including boom, 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 right here. And it was like extremely profound. And I was just like, wait, what the hell? This is actually like a thing, right? And so now I'm just like, all right, I have to like show my people, I have to show other spiritual entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs that this is possible. Like you can do this. And so now my offer is I help spiritual entrepreneurs make their first $1,000 online as coaches, because that's what I've done. And I help you do that by serving the people that you want to serve, by doing the things that you want to do. Because if you're not living purposefully, what's the point?
Yeah, and it's so crazy, like back on like doing the things that you want to do. That's how I like, because it's like the food has always been a part of my life. I've always had like not a strict diet, but I've always had an awareness to like what I put in my body. And I remember my grandparents got sick last year, and I was cooking for them. I was cooking them all these healthy foods, and like seeing my grandmother like so excited to eat my food, it just did something to me. And then like just knowing that I was giving them like nutrition, and like I fell in love with that.
Giving them life.
Yeah, like I just fell in love with that whole experience. So we're like after that, I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to be a nutritionist. But then I saw like the rates for school. I'm like, then I saw like the curriculum. I'm like, it's not fun anymore. It was just too much like doctor stuff. Like it wasn't fun anymore. It was just too sciencey. And then I couldn't afford the school at the time, so I just like time went past, and literally a few months ago, as I was starting to feel better, I started like wanting to maintain that energy, and I started doing it through food even more intentionally. And then as I was learning like marketing for my skincare business, but it was marketing that didn't align with me. I'm like, this doesn't feel good. Like I want everything that I do to feel good, be effortless. And that's just what I wanted to do as far as my business ventures, because that would allow me to actually get it done. So then when I was looking at my personal life, I'm like, oh, this is easy, the food. Like I make pretty food all the time. I start taking pictures of it naturally. Like I just have a bunch of food pictures on my phone. I'm like, this is so easy because this is a lifestyle. Like, and it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm like, okay. And then I like do research on it. Like, oh, a lot of people are doing this too. But I don't see anyone doing it in the spiritual ways to just lose weight, gain weight, heal this, heal that. Like I never seen it in the department of like spirituality and unblocking creativity.
Energy.
I've never seen that.
Exactly.
So when I saw that was like an open niche for me, and like how it's literally was just for me. That's when I was like, oh, this is what I can do. And then when you came across, the alignment was like there, because I didn't know, like I didn't realize like, oh, I could be a coach. Like I thought I was going to write a book, go on YouTube, talk a little bit here. Like, no, like you allowed me to tap in deeper to what I've always been meant to do. Which goes back to community, why you need one, why you need to join. The link will be in the description.
First link, join up, gang.
Let you know your next steps. Like, that's what I truly believe, and it helps you continue those steps. Like, it pushes you to go up those stairs, and like, you never know what you need until you like surround yourself in that community.
100%. Yeah. Community is everything. Like,
it's everything.
It's like the author of this book here, which is very responsible for my abilities of capturing attention. He likes to say that the digital world is now our primary world. And because of that, like, we have to find these digital communities. We have to find these spaces online where we can feel heard, where we can feel like connected, where we can feel like we belong. And that is why I'm so in love with school. That's why I'm so in love with it, because it is not only about business. It's not only about education. It's about community.
Yeah.
And that is everything. Like, school, like, I joined Adonis School. I fell in love with school in 2 weeks. I was like, I want to have my own. And then I found out Alex Hormozy was investing in school in January. And I was like, oh, I need to do this because it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I was like in like, school is easily going to be worth $1 billion. But I'm like, bro, in like a year, everybody that didn't get on the train right now is going to be so pissed that they didn't get on the train right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I refuse for that. And that gave me like some energy to like, yo, I need to do my thing. But I was still blocked because I was like, what is my thing? This was in early January, right?
Yeah.
But I found my thing. I was like, I know my people. It's the spiritual people. It's the Renaissance people. It's the people who feel like they don't really fit into one spot because we don't. You know what I mean? It's because that's what we're about. We're about the multidisciplinaries. We're about creatives. We're about spreading and being like diversified, because that's how we should be. Like, they're like, being a specialist, being extremely honed. I mean, that could be awesome, but like, that gives you such a limited perspective of life. That gives you such a limited, like, narrow, like, point of view. And like yeah, exactly. And like the I've always been someone who wants to understand more, who wants to expand more, who wants to see more. And so I've never felt like I could fit into just math, just science, just art, just business, just like social stuff. It just couldn't happen. Like, I just can't do one. I have to do it all.
Yeah.
And so like I felt like I didn't resonate with anybody. Well, not anybody, but I feel like I didn't have many people. This is why I love Dan so much, because he's about the digital renaissance. I got that from Dan, honestly. And he's about the Renaissance, man. And it's like, I love that figure, like Da Vinci, Michelangelo, like these guys who embodied that, who embodied the heart-mind connection. Like, these guys were like, these are the men that you should be like. Like, these are the figures that we should live like. And these are the figures that have always attracted me. This is why I'm in love with Robert Edward Grant. He is the Renaissance man. Like, that dude is him. And like, I felt so like drawn to this character, to this avatar. It's like, I need my people to understand that you can feel heard. And like, I'm going to make you feel that way, because that's how I needed to feel.
Yeah. But Jaden, why did you just pause? What are you thinking about?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I finished.
Oh, okay. Because you were just like so passionate, and then it was like.
I mean, that's
okay.
Yeah, I just ended. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Aaron, let me tell you. Yesterday, right? I was telling Jake. I was like, so Jake, this is like, we were talking about how in sync we were. I was like, dude, let me tell you this story. So I was watching this video about fasting by a doctor named Dr. Mindy Pelz, right? And I'm watching it, and I'm hearing her spit so much game about how like a woman's like cycle is actually extremely like important, not just for fasting, but how that affects their creativity, their ability to do work, right? And I was like, oh shit, this is profound. Like, I never heard anything like this. And so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, I should send this to Aaron, right? So I'm just like, I just got to spread the wealth. I got to spread the education. And then I got like a slight hit of ego. I'm like, that's weird though, no? And so I didn't. Okay. But later that night, me and Aaron were texting. I don't remember if it was a voice memo or if it was a text, but you were literally said, like, you were talking about how you were planning like your creative spout or something about like you wanting to create around your cycle because that's when you were most in flow. And I was like, I swear to Jesus Christ himself, Aaron, I watched a pod that I watched a video that I was going to send you talking about that exact same thing, but I didn't send it because I thought it might be weird. And then you said, no, whenever you feel called to send me something, know that my soul needs it. Something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, I was like, whenever you like hold back what you want to send me, just know that like I'm somewhere starving, like my soul is starving for it. And because every time you send me something, like literally every time you send me something that I literally needed, like that I just didn't have the information, and like, little do you know, like back to the synchronicity, like that stuff that I need to tap more into, because although that video, I'm aware of like most of the stuff in that video, those are parts of my craft that I haven't tapped into for my community. So like I said, when you don't send me stuff, I'm starving somewhere.
Nah, word. So ever since then, I was like, all right, bet I'll never let ego get in my way again.
Yeah.
And that's big, guys. Like, choose love instead of fear. Like, ego is such a trap. And the ego, it helps us out. You know what I mean? The ego is here to keep us alive. It's here to, it serves us. Hey, without a healthy ego, you can't have a healthy self-worth. You know what I mean? Like, the ego is important, but it should not rule you. You should not live through ego consciousness. You need to live in the heart, right? You need to live through the soul. And like your ego is, it's tough because all these voices in our head sound the same, but they're not. One of them is the real you. One of them is the ego. God comes in there sometimes and he's like, hey, what you doing? But like, oftentimes we listen to the ego too much, right? But the ego is so based in lack. It's so based in control. It's so based in attachment. And it's like, if you're living throughout those, then you won't be able to accept your abundance. You won't see that love is overflowing. You won't see that like you are like constantly in flow with life, in flow with God, in flow with the creator. It's like the ego has no control. It's like it has a part to play, sure. But like we are all here to like work together. And so it is really like the illusion of the ego that we lack love. It is the illusion of the ego that it has control. It is the illusion of the ego to be attached to things. Because it's like we always have love. We are fully abundant. God loves you. I love you. Aaron loves you. Love is everything. It's like, bro, we have love.
As you were saying all that, like the first thing that came to mind, like before you even got into it, it was like we were thinking about the same thing, but I was like, ego can literally take you out of love. Like a lot of love, like when you think about like how it comes down, like it's not that like the relationship isn't like, together. It's the ego. Like in some way, somehow the ego was overpowering the love.
Fear, sadness, anger. These manifest. Like I forgot exactly. There's like the three beliefs of the ego, but I don't remember the exact ones. But it's like that we lack love, that we're in control, and that we have attachment. Right? Attachment creates anger, lack creates sadness, and control creates fear. But when you step out of ego, when you shift out of this third chakra of personal attachment, and you shift closer into your heart of unity, you start seeing that there is no attachment, there is no control, there is no lack. And that allows you to choose love over and over and over again instead of fear.
Yeah, and that just like confirms like when I mentioned like how I feel rejected. It's not that I was actually rejected, but my ego wanted to interpret it that way because my ego wanted more out of somebody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that was basically everything I had written down. You got anything?
No, honestly, I feel like this call, there's a lot to digest. Like for the consumer and for me. So we can end it here.
You want to wrap it up? Let's do our CTAs.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, you go ahead, actually.
Okay. So if you want to tap deeper into your spirituality, unblock your creative blocks, mental fog, if you want to reach that next level with your soul, with that connection with God, through Whole Foods Nutrition lifestyle. Remember, we're big on lifestyle. We're going to fall in love with it so that we can create and have that overflow, especially as a woman. Go ahead and sign up for my one-on-one coaching. The link will be in the description.
Second link.
Yeah, it's going to be for 8 weeks. We get to work one-on-one, and we get to help you transform your vision into real life. And the biggest thing of all, fall in love with it. Because when you fall in love with it, you're not going to need anything else. It's just going to overflow. And it's just...
Man, that's just the truth. Like, guys, let me tell you this. Falling in love with your daily life is the biggest life hack. If you just love every single day, like, I've been so in love with my life the past 2 weeks. It's like, I mean, not 2 weeks, the past 2 months. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh
it's just
God.
like, I love, like, I was saying this to Minna yesterday. Like, this is basically all I do. I write, I record, I talk to people, I hop on calls, I learn, I walk. That's it. Seems boring to most people. I have never had more fun, never been more fulfilled. It's like, I've never felt more free.
Like, oh my gosh, falling in love with it is everything, because you don't have to be motivated every single day. Like, you don't have to wake up feeling like, ugh. Like, if you wake up doing like that, you don't your environment, you got to do something different. You got to fall in love with something. You got to.
When you love it, you don't need discipline.
Yes, and it becomes your embodiment, because remember, your outside love is your inside love as well. So it's like, the embodiment is so important. And work one-on-one, get the embodiment, and it's go time. So. Yeah. No
doubt. All right, gang. Yo, come tap into our free community. Join Template, right? Connect with me and Aaron. We're in there chopping it up. If you're a spiritual entrepreneur or a wantrepreneur who wants to finally take action and make the first $1,000 online through business as a coach, I want to help you do that. I want to help you create your offer, and I want to help you use YouTube to get your traffic source. Me and Aaron love YouTube. That's all we're about, because YouTube's the best. It's about the education. It's about the community. It's about spreading that. Let's just get real, guys. Are there that many intellectuals on Instagram or Twitter? I mean, or TikTok? No.
Definitely not.
YouTube's where it's at.
It's so interesting because I tried TikTok, and like, oh my gosh, I could never resonate with it, because I'm not meant to be short form. I'm not meant to be thrown to the side after. Like, no, I'm meant to be digested, chewed slowly. Like, so
exactly.
It doesn't work.
So if you want to make your first $1,000 online as a coach in 30 days, I want to help you do that. It's the third link in the description.
Sounds good. And most of all, definitely join our free community. If you want to stay in touch with us, we're going to be doing live calls, more like this. And our community, we're going to get more intimate than what we are on here. We get to connect with you guys and work with you on a more intimate level than the YouTube. The YouTube is like the broader sense. So if you want that intimacy with us and other creators, which is like the best part, definitely join the free group. And then see you on the next upload.
Yep. And that's the best way to reach out to us, guys. Like, I don't have Instagram. I'm always deleting Instagram every 2 days. I'm not gonna lie. And by every 2 days, I mean like every week. I only hop on Instagram if I need to like create like a wallpaper or something. That's it. I don't have Twitter. I don't have any social media. All I do is YouTube, and I'm on school. If you want to reach me, come DM me on school.
It sounds beautiful.
This has been a W. All right, Aaron. This has been awesome.
All right. Peace out, guys. We'll see you in the community.
We're gonna catch y'all.